So I was deployed in 2010 to 2011 as an intel officer on a provincial reconstruction team, so very focused on the non-kinetic rebuilding aspect of Afghanistan. It was the longest I'd ever been away from my wife. The total time with deployment was like 14 months. I missed my daughter being born during that deployment. So I was blown up in an IED attack. It was the first on our team. Wasn't injured, but it was still happened. Same day was also involved in controlling a large crowd of upset Afghans, so that was also a unique experience there. An Army battalion was also in our FOB, and our intel shops were kind of merged together. But while I was in the TOC, saw some of my friends get hurt, injured, carried off on stretchers onto helicopters. Some of those guys are still dealing with those injuries today. And then also was, did some pre-mission briefs for a lot of the Army units that were going out. One of those in particular, all five of the individuals, or there were 5 individuals that were killed in an attack. We had briefed them. We had known that there were multiple attacks on the route that they were going on. One of my units, my unit had actually been attacked a couple of weeks prior, I think it was. And I was actually out on that patrol, so I had firsthand knowledge of the TTPs that were used, the terrain, the people in the area. So we felt fairly confident in our assessment that there was a good potential for another attack. Unfortunately, there was another attack and those 5 individuals were killed, or 5 of the individuals on the patrol were killed. And going through intel school as an intel officer, one of the things that was communicated to me was that, if you have all the information and the decision maker still doesn't make a correct decision, then that is really your fault. Because you have not communicated the information in an appropriate manner to, kind of persuade them to make a decision that you think is appropriate. So when we had that incident occur, I really internalized that factor and felt a lot of the blame for those 5 individuals being killed. It was a really rough week for us because even after, the event itself, they bring the bodies back to the FOB. We had a ceremony for them, and that was tough because you see the 5 rifles with the boots and the helmets, the pictures. And you try not to get emotional, but it's still hard. So holding on to that sense of responsibility, I really didn't approach that the right way, right? So this was, like I said, so this would have been 2011 when I returned, about the summer of 2011. Really didn't seek help at all, didn't look to help, didn't talk to my wife about it. And that was the absolutely wrong thing to do because for the next probably 7 to 8 years, I really struggled with that internally. And that's not the right approach to take. I think I really should have sought help and asked for help. And so what I've learned from that is one, I use this story now as an opportunity to help other folks that are feeling the same pain, whether you know it or not, right? Because everybody is going through something, and I've learned that a lot too. Everybody's going through something, and so when I stand up and I talk about my story, or I share my story like this, I hope that it reaches at least one more person and they're willing to come forward and seek the help that they need, because I didn't do that. And so I was lucky. On the back end of it, right, I came through. I didn't end up harming myself or anything along that line, but it took me 7 to 8 years to work through that. And a lot of that was learning about coming from a mental perspective of where I could learn to control what I can control and not worrying about things that I can't control. I really emphasize that as a leader, is talking through your emotions. The other aspect is to go and seek help. I have talked with a handful of members, my squadron and others, about my experiences and some of the harrowing experiences they've had through their lives, through deployments. And I think, just being open about my experience allows them to see that it's okay to talk about it And then also, I really pushed for them to go seek help, because that was the mistake I made, was I didn't seek help for dealing with my own challenges. And I really emphasized to them that it's okay to seek help and that there is no backlash for seeking help. It's, it will help you see the light at the end of the tunnel a lot quicker. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen to me if I did seek help. I thought it was going to look weak. And then I also thought, nobody's really gone through this. This was a unique experience. I mean, the Air Force didn't have a lot of these deployments, and so how was somebody going to really understand what I was going through? But I think we're in a much better place now, and I think stories like these, that the wing is doing efforts like this, are significant in, communicating to people that it is okay to come and talk about your challenges. It is okay because, I know a number of people who have sought mental health help and have not lost clearances. I don't know of anybody that has sought help and had any negative impact to their career. Speaking about our story does help others. I know that for a fact. People have told me that my story influences them to seek the help. And so I know that technique works. So I would encourage others to come out and tell their stories as well. And then just for those that are seeking help or going through something, please talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a mental health professional. It can be your chaplain. It can be your friend. Just open up and start talking to somebody about the challenges you're going through, because that will help immensely in getting you on the road to success. And then, really the last thing I want to say is, to those people that are going through challenges, every day is a struggle, and you have to get up and fight for it every day. You've got to want it every day. And on the worst days, it's like every minute is a struggle. But there is a bright spot on the other end of it. So you just got to keep that one thought in mind, that little bit of hope, and it'll get you through those darkest days.